Hi Jim, how are you?
Hi Sabine, how are you?
Good. You asked me to get together with you to have a discussion about the report that I prepared for you. So I know that you wanted to know a few key aspects of the report, so I'm happy to explain them to you. I've made some notes, so maybe I can just refer to them.
Okay.
What did you want to know in particular?
Sabine, can you explain to me how business records are sorted and stored per security and access requirements as stated in our policies and procedures?
Of course, yes. What we need to do is, like, I've brought a manila folder with me, and this is for all the hard copy files that we have, such as the exclusive authorities, all the details in regards to the properties and everything. So what we normally do, we put them in here, and then we have a unique identifier that we write on the side of it, and with that we actually then put them in a secure filing cabinet. You know, in the sales office where I work mainly, there we have a filing cabinet, and the sales manager locks it at night.
Okay.
So that way it's make sure that no unauthorized access can happen. So the other thing is, we're all aware, according to the policy that we've written before, is that all the salespeople are not allowed to leave anything in the car or anywhere else. So just to make sure that it's all safe. With the electronic files, because some of the documents we have, obviously emails and other electronic documents that we have to record in the EDRMS system, and we file them according to the sales department, property management department, and then by client name, and then all the documents that relate to that particular client will be filed under that name. So the more sensitive files that we have, like for instance for HR, they are actually filed with a password protected document. So unless you have the password, you can't access the document. So that way we make sure that that's all pretty much secure as well.
Can you demonstrate to me how our control information describing the movement or use of records are updated accurately in the record management system?
Sure. The control information we have is just keeping a logbook. So if someone takes it out physically, a file out of the filing cabinet, we have a little book next to it, and we have to write our name and the date we remove the file. So that way, if a next person comes along and wants to access the file, they can't find it. They look in the book and they see, yes, so and so has taken it, and we actually record this as a control. So that's quite easily done, and it's also relevant for hard copy files that they're kept in the locked cabinet, as I said before. Now, for other files that are electronic in the electronic system, we have they're located by the means of the unique identifier, which is generally the name of the client with the date behind it. And the system creates a record who and when the file is being requested. So if we want an electronic file, it actually gets requested, and then we can access it, and then we mark it that we've accessed it. So that's normally how it works electronically.
Okay. So how do we remove and dispose of manual record which is no longer required?
Yeah, that's a difficult, or it's not difficult, but it's a little bit more tricky, because we have to make sure that we actually get authority. Like me as a salesperson, we have to ask the sales manager, is this record legally still required, or can we just dispose of it? So I need to get authority, authority to approve of the disposal to start off with. And then we have to double check that we are not actually disposing something that before time that is required to be kept according to the Estate Agents Act 1980, the Fair Work Act 2009, or the Privacy Act, because they have their own retention periods. So I'll get either a written or verbal approval from the supervisor before I even go ahead with disposing the record. So depending on the actual record, some of the more important ones, like sales authorities, personal records within HR, those sort of records are actually, we keep a disposal log. So if we do dispose of the record, we actually write down that we have disposed it and at what time. So we know if we're looking for a file and we can't find it, we can check that it actually has been disposed. So that's quite important. It doesn't happen with all the documents. I mean, some of the documents that are just a day-to-day document, I mean, we can dispose of without actually going through that process. But if the record is sensitive, we preserve the security during disposal as well, because we can't just, the personal file of an employee can't be just left lying around. So we need to either shred it through the shredder, or we put it in a disposal bag that the security company comes and picks up to be shredded or disposed of like outside the office. So that's practically it. I mean, day-to-day notes and that we just dispose any way we want, really.
Okay. Could you show me the steps we take to minimize the use of printed materials to meet our environmental context of CityServe standard practices?
Yeah, at CityServe as you know, you're the principal, so you encourage the storage of digital records in order to eliminate excessive paper usage and stay in line with the environmentally friendly policy that we have. The main information, client and record management system, is the electronic system called the EDMS. So that's where all the important information, such as the property information, like the marketing information, all that is actually kept within the system. So it's in electronic format, and we don't really need to have any papers for that. Some of the paper documents can actually be converted into digital format, and for that we try to do it as much as possible, so that way we don't have to keep the hard copy files in the filing cabinets. So the company also, as you know, has approved a couple of applications for storing client and business information. These are called the RedMap and the Sherlock Pro Archive Hub. So some of the applications are being used to convert and store the records through those applications. So the other thing is, I know that the corporate emails that we get, we should not store them in shared folders or in personal folders. We should actually have them again stored within the system, so we can keep and consolidate all the records relating to one case or to one client or one property together. So that's really all we do to eliminate excessive paper usage in the office. Try to do everything electronically as much as possible to try and be in line with all the environmental, the environmentally friendly practices within the office. So does that sort of answer most of your questions?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks Jim. Have a good day. See ya.
See you.